Welcome to Fajara, and today is indeed a red letter day for all of us. First and foremost, we would like to apologize for the late start due to reasons basically beyond our control, because we had a rainy morning. But then we see it as a blessing, because in our cultures as Africans, anytime we see water or a downpour or showers, we consider it as showers of blessing. So no matter what has happened today, we are still grateful that yes, indeed, God will shower his blessings on such a great project and initiative here for the Gambia. My name is Andy Keman. I'll be your MC for this event. But before we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to please call on the Imam Juve to please lead us in the Muslim prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Imam Juve.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم يا قيوم يا قيوم يا رافع يا قاهر قاهر من أرادنا بالضر بقهرك يا من أخرج آدم من الجنة ورداه ويا من در أيوب وشفاه ويا من جعل أعضاء لموسى ونجاه ويا من رفع عيسى إلى السماء ويا من جعل يونس في بطن حوت وأخرجه ويا من جعل يوسف من غيابة الجب وزينه بالحسنى يا قديم الإحسان إحسانك القديم يا داعم يا قيوم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير يا حسبي الله نعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير يا قيوم يا رافع اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وخلفائه وتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وصلى الله وسلم على هادي العمين اللهم يجعل هذا المكان مكان ازدهارا ونجاة لكل من له مشكلة يا رب العالمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على
move for the Gambian people is about 5 days ago reappointed Dr. Amar Al-Jafari, a consultant radiologist, again as Chief Medical Director. Dr. Amar, you're welcome. And I will now introduce the man behind Trans-Africa Teleclinic coming to Gambia. I call this man a nationalist because of his love for country and people. Abdullah Yafa met Zainab 20 years plus back in the United Kingdom, and their relationship started there. And from that time, you can't believe, Zainab being in the school of nursing in England, met Ablai, and from that time, Mr. Yafa has been telling Ablai, let's start a medical project in Gambia. He kept on following Zainab. He never relented until 2022. Abdullah introduced me to Zainab in 2016 and told Zainab that I have a partner, I have a friend, I have a brother, Ibrahim Jallo, who can help this become a success in Gambia. Abdullah Yafa, you're welcome. I will not do justice without mentioning the name of this perfect gentleman. The first day I went to the airport, we had a machine worth $150,000 machine. And I went to the airport to get this machine out of the port. I have never met such a reasonable person like him. The moment I requested to meet him, he immediately opened his door and said, please let him come in. I went to his office and told him about the machine that we have on the ports an airport that we needed to clear from the customs. Being the guy in charge of the customs, I appealed and told him, listen, this is for the Gambian people. This is here to serve the Gambian people. And we want to move the Gambian healthcare system to another level. When I told this gentleman about this, I will not mention it, but he surprised me with his kindness, with his office, and told me, my brother, this is for all of us. Me or my family can need these machines. I'll contribute. I am going to let this machine go on a lower price. Mr. Jami, you're welcome. I deliberately did this because this is a guy that I have known for 27 years. He's been my friend when he was a lieutenant in the army. We rose together to becoming a captain, and then to a major, and then to a lieutenant colonel. He becomes a colonel. And I remember when he was promoted from a major to a lieutenant colonel, a friend of mine called me and said, Ibrahima, is this a promotion or a demotion? This guy was a major, and now he's a lieutenant colonel. And I laughed. I said, no, it's a higher rank. Then he becomes a colonel and becomes Gambia's fourth brigadier general. He again became Gambia's fourth major general and rose to the highest rank in the Gambia Armed Forces, becoming a lieutenant general. I don't want to bother you talking much about this guy, but I can tell you, more than 99.9% of the Gambian population knows he is a perfect gentleman, a generous man, a man that loves this country and will go the extra miles in whatever it has to do for the Gambian people. Welcome, retired Lieutenant General Tamba. General, xam nga suma digante yow duñ dee jubóo lu bari parce que all the time yaa ma dee tooñ. Everybody has attested to that you always teases me. Even recently you meeting my CEO, you have started teasing me. And I am glad that Zainab always tells you, General, stop what you're doing. Thank you, Zainab. There are three young men that I also want to recognize their presence here. These boys have been with us from day one. I'll not do justice without introducing this young, energetic man. In the name of Sheikh Omar Yafa, Modlamin Salah, and Mobiju MJ. Thank you so much for your sacrifice and your contribution to where we are today. Thank you. Master of Ceremony.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim Ajalo. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can do better. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Ibrahim Ajalo. The Trans-Africa family is now based in the Gambia. And in any place that you go, you already have a family that's behind them. And of course, Mr. Ajalo introduced Mr. Abdullah Yafa, who actually encouraged Zainab Doumbouya to please start something good for his country. That is very patriotic, ladies and gentlemen, and I want us to also once again give a round of applause for Mr. Abdullah Yafa. But then the family, the Yafa family, will have a representative to speak to us for about 2 minutes and just give us a little background. So I would like to now call on Mr. Mustafa Yafa to please say a few words. A round of applause for Mr. Mustafa Yafa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلاة على النبي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وسلم اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وسلم تسليما الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق الناصر لحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين ngake digame be ko noer alhamdulillah ho Allah tigana Allah tigande ndangi yempalle na sar non pilli tiga kendangi yempalle jamane ke bogano kondo kenya ga no tun kanyonga adama baro aya marante na gambia ilenki khayra sugari na ngiri do duna kagunga Allah da war jaxendo jamane en soron ngar jaxe kendangi yempalle na nuwarin kinyandi kata serencuyi aywa mba fola mandinga kan kono sara khulole mun tebare be mandinga kan fola nani ndiyamo ngamen fon ko betten to dila alala man so men ngantelu beda anin na wulula fulolu hultambi koral na banko nyaton ko menketa ya adama baroti hadama dingo femfe ni ala yake la harjo kono nyantale ngaw fo ni amoy hadama dingo ko ku soto pis wala nyanta tar la banko wala mu tenku ngoti adama baro alhamdulillah gella kabri ay gambia mara alhamdulillah khayro don nabe nyim banko ga nabi jango ati jang anala man sakunda mo be tentula ani misilmo le ani mo bal membe be nyin ay teblo to jang ko ku sababo le mu sababo ko kana jiodi na kana fendina bari kana nyina sababo la abdullahi yafa ndo male mu ntelle be bakilim fakili ala natake mbe nyin keno men kanja ani jenabu tijani kamara mbafala ko jenabu kamara men keta baya suba kamara dingoti anate abdullahi telle kafta kabri sanji jama komanto ala jenabu lawululal be balwo kono watola anin bullahi la ko on tedunna detail kono bako bari ngalo e kafta ala nin kila kamma jenabu lawulul nya maro kay tandi abdullahi la hanni tel tekeri jenabu bullahi atele ma fati atele mala ko beti jenabu na take moti lahiditi wala mati ani abdullahi la kafoni mbi tema e kafta bakili fakili ya kono foy la kacca dunta dokotoro ko to wala muhammad dingol ila jar lola kote ifangol bina dun naw detail kono ala nata ki ani abdullahi ko landi nyokoto akwayen ko sai lafta de ngagnin ko ke lafta nyin tele clinique kanati afrique kono lafta sambala dulato ite munemira abdullahi kwayen ko ndebe memfole ni sanati no gambia jang ko le fisiata to nyaita musarliyo nigoleti bar ni ati gambia badiya bani afrique be tema mali lemba senegal lemba guinée bissau guinée conakry kata sarliyo ñunu be mu melni khayro le be gambia ni ñunu be tema andu jande mu banku ndinne ni ya nati ja kayro ngani mem fo male abesi khayro soto nyin kono jena mu mission munati pour nyin ka masingol nati afrique dingol musuka fu kela bata membe musol nin kewlu kan ni sasa membe komi kansal wala ku kotengolu nin fente bulu ba jar lebe na fulu baltal wala tiketo ta kata amerique wala makata london jena bu ko okole atale o sabo kam malafta nyinna alafta masinol nati ka ko nati ka nyindo ko keja na ya keja musolu la sa yasi doya to nya alale kam molu fa ke wol nin dimbal miskin amam mo bo mo kono fenfene mu afrique dingota ni momo le mu human binti a besi na jarlo ke nyindina kono fo mol sikende asoto ay wole ngani ke kabraya fo anin jena bu yo ko wallahi do mutanyonna abdullahi manke docteur to bari ibrahima diallo bi jang ibrahima diallo le mu docteur to me ya lon ko be nyim machine ko ni docteur ko kalama abdullahi na kafta kabri mfama ni mbama be baluri a tele kata mbama topoto ani mfama topoto abdullahi ko sai sababu filatante abdullahi man na fulo nyini bari ngani nyini gambia kono jang ka ke banku din kendoti ka fere ke ka fennati membe mo be na fala wala mu jata kende akole yabe Gambia be Afrique be o sabo kam kabrayo fo burayma ya la ko anyanta men kele ay lahido dial nandi fatmata ke jaw jawara o bija ayo fanankili wa ko en ko de ite ate masin ko lo bara sinyi anin fatmata jawara sila londo lu fay nyoka isinyi ko muta abulay fe anin jena bu fe o kola kabiro botala wato menna inata o kolu be kensu nyokan kaben ko to fo jena bu kabiri serin ko jena bu na tam masino nim fengol ko mo la suto komi Ibrahima Diallo tamita malla fi katambe o kan fo ko be tembe ta kamasinda ko lengol nati mendi sumolu so jata kende ala ando asi jena bu manda o fananda fana ko ala tanyim fananna men keta sa domur nyati Gambia ko no molu ka domorol mende ko nyinji mboni ku ko tangol nim fengol ka men domo aka molu fa anin ko jama abe fere kala ka musol ni molu ni nani musol be obe kacha kala pour saya be do yala nyame oto sabo kam wole mfutandi bi Abdoulaye ni ate Ibrahima Diallo Abdoulaye dingo men keta Cheikh Oumar ya fati wala ya fa amuta fa ma fani iba fa ko el boy wala mu set salla dingo ti mem moti katabula inshallah ani mbo ko tangul membe lo nte be to fo bo me be long aba Abdoulaye la muso men keta Aissatou Sallati gine bi sanko le ma wala ma Abdoulaye la musoti ni Aissatou Salla musu kendele mu jenabula jati ma teleti atele mu jenabula ko beti amunta ko lo tay musu yala place to ala topotoro pour abe nyamenna wa kap tambio bela silam be nyin keno menka mbe kumo ucenta malla fa ay jamfa bake ala na ta ke mbe o ko le keno kanbi lungo be manke diamu to barni diamu lungo na tay be diamu lale kumo la sutu yabulu mbe Gambia be tentula mbe kafo be tentula nyimbo kendol membe sele nyi alpha balu doctorolu katabula sila inshallah mo kendola ne melu be nyum ko nan nani ustaz ba men gata na almambati ani nyim fada membe sir membo ta janni mbe be tentula amunta ko dale ko ku sababu ole munjenti jena bu keta moleti anganiyo seneata jena bu keta moleti ay balafati yo so amanna million jini ja bara yin nati ka kre afrique kono ka sasale bang momen man abiyo tano ka tatu babudu isi jaray noto nyin telecom wala keta jang ala sawal sawo be ko mo bulala jang ala male khayro ke ila hurmato salli ala muhammad
Al-Blokosi korenke. Abaraka bake Mr. Mustafa Yafa, who just gave another short overview of the process opening the Trans-Africa teleclinics in the Gambia in the local language. Thank you so much, Mr. Mustafa Yafa. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we will now like to hear the overview of the project to be delivered by Dr. JJ. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Dr. JJ.
Assalamu alaikum. Members of the high table, invited guests, well wishes, good afternoon. And I have to apologize first for keeping you here for so long, for starting late. This is not what we intended, but as the MC said, it was beyond our control. I was just discussing with VJ that it's unfortunate that in the Gambia, rain stopped things. And I think this is because we have a clear rainy season and a clear dry season. But if you live in countries where they don't have that, rain does not stop activities. Activities goes on despite rain. But nonetheless, we are here, we have started. I have seen very many prominent Gambians here in the high table and friends of the Gambia. I welcome all of you and thank all of you for coming. It is said that I have to give an overview of the project, but I have to say that I have to make a small correction. So I can only give the medical aspect and not the admin aspect. Trans-Africa Teleclinic is sort of a misnomer because it is not only a teleclinic, it is also a base clinic. So it is a base plus teleclinic. We are going to have a clinic where we are going to do consultation. What is meant by that is patients walk in, sometimes by themselves, sometimes are brought in by relatives and friends, see a doctor, ask about their problem, and they're given treatment. This is what we call consultation. So this is going to happen here. But the other aspect to it is that the consultation at the base clinic can go beyond it because we have collaborators. As Mr. Jallo has already mentioned, we have collaborators in the US, the UK, and Morocco. And this is where the tele aspect comes in. So for example, if you come into the clinic and you're seen by myself or other doctors, Prof. Jafari and other doctors, and we think your problem is beyond us, or we think we need to consult with our colleagues outside this country, we have a machine that we can use in real time to get opinion from our colleagues in the US, UK, or Morocco. So this is where the tele aspect comes in. The other aspect is that Dr. Mehdi is from Morocco. He works for an air ambulance service called the Ozone Air Morocco. He is going to collaborate with us. In instances where we have a patient who needs an urgent evacuation, sometimes you get some of these conditions that we cannot do the treatment in the Gambia, and this patient has to go out. So he is going to come in there and facilitate the evacuation of this patient to either Europe, America, Morocco, or any part of the world. So this is another power of Trans-Africa. Locally, from the beginning, we are not going to admit patients. We will do what we call outpatient. Patients will come in, we treat them, give them medication, they go. But we can resuscitate patients. We have machines that can resuscitate patients, get them stabilized, and then refer them. So locally, we are also going to collaborate with clinics in this country who do admit patients, so that if we receive a patient at Trans-Africa and patient needs admission, but we are not going to admit, we can send this patient to one of those clinics for admission. And we will still jointly manage the patient in those clinics. We also want to collaborate with the teaching hospital. You are told that Prof. Jafari has just been appointed as the Chief Medical Director of Edward Francis Teaching Hospital, small teaching hospital. It is the only teaching hospital in the Gambia. So we want to collaborate with them in the sense that we have experts as our collaborators outside this country, in the US especially, very renowned doctors. You may see some of them in the video later on in the program. They'll be visiting this country, and they would want to carry out procedures that are not done in this country. They'll be bringing their equipment, and some of them will even bring medication. So we would like to use the EFSTH because it is the Masons hospital and it is accessible. So when these people visit, we would like to use their theater and other facilities to carry out some of these philanthropic procedures. So this is another power of Trans-Africa. I think, as I said, I'm only going to deal on the medical aspect. So to conclude, I have to say that you can entrust Trans-Africa. It is not a matter of saying good about myself, but anyone who knows me knows that I do not compromise with quality. I was brought into Trans-Africa by my brother Ibrahim Jallo. And I still tell him, Madam CEO, I hope this will never happen, but I kept telling him, anytime he leaves, I'm going to leave. So I hope he will not leave. Ibrahim is someone that I trust. I see him as a brother. And I remember promised him that whatever he wants me to get into, except if it is going to go against Allah, or it is something very dangerous for myself and him and the humanity, I will go into it. And this is why I came into Trans-Africa. And I told him that, I promised him that I'm going to give him my full support. But we will not compromise with quality. Because we deal with human lives. This is what I always tell people. I say if mechanics make mistake, usually it's the machines that get problem. But if we make mistake, people die. So doctors, we are not supposed to make mistake. We are human beings, we do, but that is what we are supposed to be like. And this is why it takes time to educate a doctor. And this is why our work is not a child's play. So here in Trans-Africa, I can assure you that we have a good team that we are always going to work as a team to make sure that when you step into this clinic, you get quality health care, because this is what brought you into the clinic. It is true the clinic is fancy, you will see it inside, it's nice, but I tell people, if people are only looking for fanciness, they will go to hotels and nice restaurants. People go to the hospital because they want to be treated, isn't it? So we will give you that treatment, inshallah. We ask for your support. We ask for your patronage. And most importantly, we ask for your opinion. So we are going to have a suggestion box there. Whenever you walk into the clinic and you're treated in a way that you feel is not well, that is the wrong treatment, don't hesitate to tell us. Because if you don't tell people their mistakes, they don't change. So it is always important to tell someone his or her mistake. So please do not hesitate to tell us where we go wrong. We are in this together. I don't want to stop talking without acknowledging the presence of a good friend here, a medical doctor, and the head of Department of Internal Medicine of Serekunda, our Kanifing General Hospital, Dr. Kamara. Please welcome. On that note, I would like to say thank you very much to all of you once again, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was Dr. Jaita, who gave us the overview of the project, and as he said, in a very specific way. Right now, what we want to do is also take a look on the screen and hear from some of the members of the Trans-Africa Tele clinics. We're just trying to really correct sound. And whilst we are sorting that out, I would like to now call on stage, to the podium again by calling on Dr. Ibrahim Jallo to introduce the founder and CEO of Trans-Africa Clinics. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause.
Well, for the second time, right? Good. Before doing that, you will please excuse me. This is human nature. I would have, yes, they were not on top of the VIP or the VIP stage. But I just wanted to also recognize within our mates the principal lab scientist who is in charge of all laboratory services at Trans-Africa Teleclinic, Mamadou M. Jallo, I call young man all the time. And I also want to recognize my chief matron, who is entirely going to be responsible for Northeast service at Trans-Africa Teleclinic, our Joe. Matron, thank you. Thank you, Doc. Ladies and gentlemen, Zainab Doumbouya is a registered nurse and an established entrepreneur from the United States of America. Born in Freetown, Sierra Leone, with over 20 years of cardiac surgery experience. This dynamic, beautiful, and productive business executive developed the ambition for a nursing career because of her father's heart disease. Her ambition was complemented by passion for taking care of others. After graduating from Thames Valley University in London, she received her nursing degree, leading her to become the nurse she is today. In 2012, she started the Cardiac Connection, a joint commission accredited agency that brings awareness to heart disease, helping people realize the effect of sugar and salt. In terms of accolades, Cardiac Connection is a member of the home care, healthcare elites and won the Best Superior Performer Award of Patient Satisfaction in 2017-2018 in the United States of America, and is a top 25% agencies in the US. In 2020, she founded Caring with Heart, a nonprofit 501c3 that supported the mission of Cardiac Connection, and in 2022, Zainab founded Trans-Africa Teleclinics, Gambia, to bridge the healthcare gap in West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the high table, and all gathered here this morning, I want to express some facts about Zainab Doumbia, founder and CEO of Trans-Africa Teleclinics. She is sincerely committed in making modern and efficient healthcare services available to all. In collaboration with international partners, she is a mother of 2 boys. This is the other part that I didn't want to mention. Zainab likes dancing, music, and most importantly, she loves reading. Thank you so much. This is all I have, because I didn't want to spend too much time. General Tamba is telling me, boy, Mandama Heath, I want to eat. So I can't wait, I can't keep you guys waiting for a very long time. But this is my brief introduction of this energetic lady. And I want to assure the Gambian people that the entire team at Trans-Africa Teleclinics and myself, through our energetic CEO, will stand the test of time. Thank you.
And I'm just going to apologize again for keeping you guys. And I know Ibrahima and everybody else has, but I have to say it's the showers of blessings and everything else. And we really do appreciate you guys being here today. Members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. It gives me the greatest pleasure and honor to welcome and thank you guys for gracing this ceremony. First and foremost, I want to thank Allah for choosing me and putting this dream of making high-quality healthcare available to all, including the less privileged, in my heart. To my wonderful parents who taught me about Allah and taught me how to love, give, and most importantly, to treat other people like I would want to be treated. They're not here today, but I want to observe a minute of silence for them. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Tommy and Cindy Dorsey, who are my sponsors, words cannot express my gratitude to you for donating the funds in making this dream a reality. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite quotes is from Nelson Mandela. It's famously quoted as saying, "Health cannot be a question of income. It is a fundamental human right." It is the goal of Trans-Africa Teleclinics to provide high-quality healthcare to all Gambians, regardless of their economic status, and to improve their lives through holistic care. You will agree with me that healthcare infrastructure in Gambia, much like the rest of Africa, is significantly lacking in comparison to Western countries, with reference to USA, Canada, United Kingdom. Therefore, our responsibility as Africans is to be educated and learn from Western achievements, to replicate the success to Africa, thus addressing the need for quality diagnostic, imaging, and telehealth clinic for the proper treatment, management, and prevention of disease, which is what we're commissioning today as a tangible example. Our mission is to bridge the gap by transfer of knowledge, in turn, building a robust healthcare system that is not only affordable, it is accessible and sustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, Trans-Africa Teleclinic stands to revolutionize how healthcare is delivered in Gambia. Trans-Africa aims to provide a new standard of healthcare to the citizens and non-citizens throughout the Gambia, in collaboration with the government of the Republic of the Gambia, which has made this country very stable for investments. I thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Zainab Doumbouya. Thank you so much for what you're doing for country and for God. Looks like we have sound now, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll just take 2 minutes to look on the screens now and just hear from the members of the Trans-Africa family.
My name is Ralph Barufi, and I'm the Director of Operations for Trans-Africa Tele. I'm a biomedical engineer with experience in the entrepreneurial space for medical diagnostics. It's been a joy working with Zainab and the rest of the team in bringing this project to life in the Gambia. I unfortunately had some commitments in the States, so I won't be able to make the grand opening, but regardless, I'm very excited for the future of Trans-Africa Teleclinics, and I wanted to say thank you to all the great people who have been working very hard to make this happen. And another thank you to everyone there right now that I haven't yet had the chance to say hello to. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much good this project can and will do for the people of Gambia. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we hope you have a great day.
Hello, and greetings to the leadership of Gambia and the citizens of Gambia. My name is Harry Marshall. I'm a general surgeon with a career's worth of experience in academic and military medicine. I also work for one of the largest healthcare enterprises in the United States. I've always wanted to be a part of building a bridge to the continent to increase the capacity of healthcare to serve the citizens of the continent. Care for our fellow man is our highest calling. A few years ago, I had the good fortune to work with the people of South Africa and saw firsthand the value of a digital and intellectual bridge and what that could bring to the continent. Subsequently, I had conversations with a coworker of mine from Sierra Leone about sub-Saharan Africa and how important it is to increase healthcare capacity using technology to care for the citizens of the continent. One thing led to another, and he introduced me to a wonderful young lady and the work that she's doing with Trans-Africa in Gambia and Sierra Leone. The conversations we have had, some with heads of state, are now coming to fruition. That vision is now being realized. With technology becoming more affordable, we are able to service more people at less cost and impact the health care that can leapfrog across the continent and serve the continent as a whole in the 21st century. I'm honored to be a part of these teams at Trans-Africa, at the work that she is doing in Gambia and throughout the West. Thank you for your time.
Those were some of the cutting of the ribbon and a tour of the facility. So I would like to invite the members of the high table, and the cutting of the ribbon will be done by Dr. Mehdi and JB. Will be led by the two of them. And then, so, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me. Members of the high table will go in first, and then the rest of us can follow. But media crew can quickly just go and set up whilst the members of the high table are there. Thank you. Everyone is ready. We will do the party, please. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trans-Africa Teleclinics. You may now go into the building, have a tour of the facility. But what we want to do, we want members of the
press. What we're going to do is we're going to start with... What we're going to do is we're going to start the tour with the radiology. Okay. So please.
Anything about the machine?
Sorry, take care, please.
Wait for Bahude. You want
Lampard.
We have this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Amar, can you also be here, please? Dr. Mehdi and JB will be cutting the ribbon, the assistant of the CEO, myself, and Dr. Amar Al-Jafar. Please.
Z, come. Dr. Mehdi, you ready? Go.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Here is the reception for Trans-Africa Teleclinic, and this is where we have an electronic record system here at Trans-Africa Teleclinic. What is going to happen is when patients come in here, first they are registered by the receptionist, and after they are registered, the patient goes to the cashiers where they will pay for consultation fee. Amazingly, if for example, a patient comes and is registered and goes into the triage room where the nurses are, without going through the cashier, there will be no information in the system of the patient. So it means you have not paid for consultation. So what happens is they are referred back to the cashier. And if the patient goes to the triage and the vital signs taking, the patients are referred to see one of the doctors, the consultants, in the consultation room. And after they are seen by the consultant and referred, for example, to do mammography or do a DNA or do the lab test or to the X-ray, the patient's information does not immediately appears there to those various places until when they do their payment at the cashier's desk. So this is our financial control mechanism. I can go ahead. Just want to introduce the X-ray machine to the guests. This is a mobile digital X-ray machine. Years back, when technology was not up to where we are today, and up to now, there are some institutions that they are using the manual X-ray machine. This is because it is digital. What we do is, if, for example, we have a patient at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital that cannot come to Trans-Africa to have his or her X-ray done, we will phone this machine and drive it to wherever we want to, because this is what the machine is made of. It will be folded and then driving the machine to Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital or any other health facility and do X-rays for patients. The machine is it's a foldable machine. One will just have to press here and, the generator like this first, and press the machine, and it goes down And then you will have to just remove the brakes and lift the machine like this and drive it to wherever village we are going to, whether it's Sintet or any other village. You see, and the other amusing part of the machine, it is after the images are done, you can send the images directly by email or WhatsApp. So easy to use. This is the digital X-ray machine that Trans-Africa is here with in the Gambia. Thank you. And it is also powered by a battery that you can use fully charged for 8 hours without electricity. So at Trans-Africa, yes, we're concerned about electricity, but not much. Because after this machine is charged, we can drive this machine to the last end of the Gambia and do X-ray and come back. Thank you. Model. Okay, this is the hematology lab, and here we have a 14 parameter urine analyzer that also does urine drug tests as well. And then we have here a centrifuge that does the spinning and separates the red cells from the serum. As normally if patients are bleed, it is whole blood. But there's some of the machines that cannot use the whole blood, because if you do, the machines will have clots and that will obstruct its function. So this is why we have the centrifuge that will do the spinning of the blood and separate the serum from the red cells. And here we have an automatic coagulation analyzer that does the INR, the PT, and the PTT. I hope this is right. This small portable machine also does what we call electrophoresis. There are patients that are sickle cell positive, and doctors sometimes will want to determine whether they are carriers or not. This is what we use to do the electrophoresis to know whether they are AS or SS. AS. And here we have the most common laboratory instrument in any health facility, and that's the microscope. And also we have the full blood count machine, and sometimes one will wonder what full blood count means. But actually what it means here, that it does the white blood cells, the red blood cells, the platelet counts, and the rest of it. So it is a sophisticated 5-part full blood count machine, which is going to be run by my Jola man. And as far as I am concerned, honestly speaking, the most important equipment in the lab are these 2 fridges. And one will wonder why, or what do I mean? This machine is these 2 fridges are going to house our reagents. Normally, if you take the reagents and have them in our normal fridges in our houses, it affects the reagents. And when the reagents are affected, then the results that you also produce are affected. And the doctors will start querying your results. So this is why we have these fridges that will house the reagents kept at a temperature that is good for it. Okay? And then, here we have the immunochemistry analyzer. And this machine does the cancer marker tests. And also does the hormonal profile test for those with infertility problems. It also does the prostate test, for us, the prostate cancer test for us, the men. And it's a very powerful machine. It's about a $27,000, $30,000 machine. And here at the back, we have the chemistry analyzer. And this machine does the liver function tests, the kidneys and the like. And it has a capacity to run 100 samples in 30 minutes. If I have 100 people sitting at the reception that needs liver function test, for example. In 30 minutes, all of them will go home because that's the capacity that this machine has. And also here, we have a distiller. This distiller produces what we call distilled water. It's like, for example, for you to understand, it's like you having a new vehicle that don't have fuel. So in a nutshell, this machine, the distiller, produces distilled water for these machines to effectively work and survive. And one will wonder, why do you have two centrifuges in your lab? And the reason why is because, if you remember, I said we have a machine that has a capacity to run 100 samples in 30 minutes. And this is the message that we are giving to the Gambian people. We don't want to come back and somebody sits at Trans-Africa Teleclinic for 1 hour because we don't have a centrifuge. We only have one centrifuge that does the spinning. And this is why we have an other centrifuge, so that the two of them together will do the spinning and all the 100 patients will go in 30 minutes. Thank you.
So, okay,
and here,
so let me go first.
yes. This is the consultation room. And here we have an echocardiogram machine. And this is a full echocardio. Dr. Jaite, can I have Dr. Jaite, please? Dr. Jaite, please. Yes. Dr. Jaite. Can I have Dr. Jaite, please? Dr. Jaite, please. Doctor, I don't want to speak this at this area. This is completely yours, and I want you to explain about this machine.
So this is an echocardiography machine. So an echocardiogram simply means ultrasound of the heart. So this machine does the ultrasound of the heart. It is a computer system. The most important aspect of this machine is what we call the probe. So this is the probe. An example, this is a vascular probe. So this is able to see the vessels, how blood runs in the vessels in real time. So we have another probe called the cardiac probe. If you want to see how the heart is functioning in real time. And these things they may look little or small, but they are very expensive. They cost thousands of dollars, not dollars. So they are very important. And this machine here is also an ultrasound system machine. It's called Apnes. But the difference between this machine and this machine is that this machine does the scanning. This one can do the scanning, and the scanning image could be shared in real time with someone in the US, in UK, or some part of the world. It can also check your blood pressure. It can do an ECG for you. It can do examination for you. And those findings could be shared in real time with our colleagues in the US, UK, and Morocco. So that's the beauty. So the tele aspect is this machine.
Right.
So this is for telemedicine. Specifically, it's one of the newer generation machines for telemedicine in the world.
In a nutshell, Dr. Jaite, when Dr. Jaite is examining a cardiac patient here and doing a vascular scan, another cardiologist in the United States or Morocco or the United Kingdom can log in, and the two cardiologists examines the patient together. This is why it has its camera, giving access to the other side of the other doctor on the other side to also be able to see the patient, and will also be able to listen to the heart of the patient as well. And you look at this stethoscope, and when you have the jollers, or the sailors, they want to steal it. If you steal this and take it, it's useless for you. Because if the moment this machine goes on and you remove the stethoscope from here, it automatically connects to the scanner. And meaning you are able to listen to the heart or whatever you want to listen. Thank you. And Dr. Jaite, you want to talk about the defibrillator as well?
So the scientific name for this machine is a defibrillator. But now, because, scientific words are very complex, so we simply call it a heart starter. So in other words, when your heart stops, this machine can be used to start your heart again. And I know most of you have seen it in movies when they joke with it, but it's not a machine to joke with. So it can start your heart. Yeah. So it's a defibrillator. We use it for resuscitation in what we call cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest simply means your heart stopping. Yeah.
So meaning when somebody's heart stops, this machine will be used to suck the person back to life again. Whoever has the attack.
Nobody will die.
So can you?
Dr. Mehdi just reminded me that this machine can be used for both children and adults.
Exactly.
So if you have a child who has a smaller chest surface, you can use this aspect. If you have an adult with a bigger chest surface, like him, very muscular,
Like who?
then you can use this one.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Doc. Doc. And here we have an examination bed and also a monitor for the blood pressure and the like. So this is mainly a triage room. And if you look at our BP machine and the scale, they are pairs. So what happens is because of the connection between Trans-Africa and cardiac connection in the United States, if you do a BP check on any patient here, within 30 seconds, that same BP will register in the dashboard in the United States. So the two teams we're going to work together immediately. And this is why if it's given to you, it is registered under your name. And it's normally not accepted in our Gambian way where I have a BP machine, my wife, my grandmother, my grandpa can all use it. Because what happens is if it is registered in your name and you check your BP and it registered high, for example, or normal, and then in an hour's time your wife or your grandmother uses it, and then it reads high, then it's going to call an alarm. The doctors will wonder what is happening. Ibrahima has just tested his BP and it's normal, and after an hour or so, the BP has gone to 180 or 190 plus. That's the cause for alarm. So this is why you cannot share the machine. Thank you so much. This is all we have so far at Trans-Africa. And also wanted to tell the guests and all of you that on Tuesday, we are having our mammogram here in the Gambia at Trans-Africa Teleclinic. And the mammogram is used for breast cancer screening. So normally, any woman above the age of 30 needs to do her mammogram screening every year. But because of the system, we don't have the machines, and some of us are, lazy finding out, but this is actually what we need to be doing yearly. So Trans-Africa has the mammogram machine that is going to be installed next week coming. And we also, at the back of our mind, are very concerned about affordability. The machine is not only accessible, it's not only available, but we are also very concerned, like I said, about affordability. So this is why even on our charges, we looked at, because we've been in the system for a very long time, so then that's giving us the opportunity to know what the other private clinics and government hospitals charges are. So we have looked at it and have gone down the line, charging lesser price and giving high quality of services to the Gambian people. Thank you so much.